Hello.
Is it gone? I don't think it's gone yet.
It is live. Hello. Are we
it's
live?
saying do it in 30 seconds.
I'm really. Is that how long it takes, Gary?
No. Is
that how long it takes to do it in 30 seconds?
Yeah, but that's just the first time.
That's rude. Hello, everybody.
You started
Gold nippers.
Hi, Bonnie.
The man with the golden rasp.
Is this the Bonnie that we're seeing?
Bonnie's first. Hello, Bonnie. Oh, you've gone. Wait. Stay put. What's happening? Why is it flashing on and off? Hi, Bonnie.
You know why?
Are you on your lunch break? Why? Because you're pressing
I was doing it too.
Are you on your lunch break, Bonnie? Grace is here. Hello, Grace.
Hi, Grace.
Second in today. You're getting back up to the top spot, Grace. You're nearly there. Angela's here. Hello, Angela. Gold
Hi, Angela.
nippers. Nikki Snowden's here. Hi, Nikki. Is this your second
time
time
back
now?
For a second day.
Yeah, no, don't. To be careful, Nikki. You're going to get sucked in.
It was a bit of a free-for-all yesterday.
You are going to get sucked in. Sarah's here. Hello. Oh, Toya's here tonight. Hello, Toya.
Hi, Tom. Dom's probably cooking.
It's Dom's cooking, or has cooked.
Dom's cooking.
It's 10:08 in the UK now. Hi, Dom. Bonnie. Oh, you're off today. Very good. Well, you can stick around today and join in. So excellent, marvelous. Maylin's here. Hello, Maylin.
Hi, Maylin.
Send you an email back. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon, about 3 o'clock. Maybe I haven't sent that back, but we're gonna think about 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Gary's on the road, but he'll be at the ferry port then, so we'll have a chat with you then. Isn't this Clydesdale group coming on well, Gary?
Oh,
our new HMB Pro intake on July the 8th is coming along very well. Now somebody said to me today, I won't mention any names, she said, what's the B stand for HMB Pro? And I kind of smiled and I wrote,
think about
barefoot, and she went, oh, duh. Just saying. Hello, just saying, Caroline. Just saying. All right, just saying. Just saying. Wink, wink.
Living marvelous barefoot professionals, darling.
Hi, Angela. Good to see you. Libby's here. Hello.
Hi, Libby.
Bethan's here. We've just got back from the pub, Bethan. So I haven't had a chance.
Tell.
It's been one of those days. I've hardly been in my office today. I've been out and about, having my hair done, been to the pub. Hi from Shropshire. Who's that then? Who's in Shropshire?
I have no idea.
Bonsoir. Oh yes, of course you have your interview. We'd nearly forgotten. We hadn't forgotten. We'd have remembered by the end of it. So you know, however long this goes on for, we'll be jumping on your interview straight after, Bonnie. Oh my God, no, Lindsay, I just got that out of my head. Been gold nippers. The man with the golden rasp.
The lyrics are getting lengthier, so we noticed on the page today.
We did notice they are getting lengthier, so it's going to be an entire.
It's going to be an entire track soon.
Nikki says alcohol and gold nippers did it for me. Wanted to see what night 2 would be like. It's terrible. Cheers. That's just this is just
still on. I've gone to water.
Juice.
You lying person.
Peach juice, that is. It is my coffee. Look, I've got my coffee as well. Toya says he's actually sat here but cooking a curry too. Get on, boy. Do you know what my favorite curries is? Chickpea curry. That's one of my most favorite curries. I had that for the first time when I was at university many moons ago, because we were all in little groups and we'd gone to Carcassonne in Brittany, and this lady who was one of our group, and I think I was sort of semi-vegetarian back then, and she cooked this chickpea curry, and it was the first time I'd ever had a chickpea curry, and from then on we've loved chickpea curry. I said I can cook. He said I'd prefer not to eat nuggets or pizza. You see that, Dom? You see, that's just what you think she can cook. She's just doing it to just make you think that, to make you cook. Right. Good ploy, Toya. Good ploy. Excellent ploy. Bonnie says, I've just finished putting up all the insulators on the trees to start my track. Now have to buy some posts to fill in the holes between the trees and make up the gate areas. I am so looking forward to seeing that paradise, because that's going to be incredible.
I think that needs a whiz.
Very good, very good. Gorgeous. I know, I felt abandoned all day. I'm sorry.
You had to draw the short straw and have to talk to me, Beth. Then that's going lower than a belly button.
I sat we were in the bar having pizza, and I clicked on my phone. It had Bethan sent a photo, Bethan sent a photo, Bethan sent a photo, Bethan, and Tim went, it's Bethan sent a photo. I went, Bethan sent a photo. I'll look at it when I get home. And I looked at it and I gave you a response. I think I gave you I gave you a response. Hi from Aberdeenshire. Hello. How can you?
Hi, David.
Kate's here. Yes. Hi, David. Hi. Kate's here. Hello, Kate. Good to see you. Nice to see you.
Hi, Kate.
Karen's here. Cheers.
Karen, cheers.
Becky, hello, darling. Are you on your night? You're not on night shift tonight. Stansted Airport, Becky works at, everybody. If everybody's ever going through Stansted Airport around about midnight to 6 o'clock in the morning, look out for Becky at security. She'll let you through and fast track you. Just say, hey, Becky, Phoenix Warrior, and she'll let you through and fast track you. So just look out for Becky if you're going through Stansted Airport. Anne's here from Stratford. Hello, Anne from Stratford.
Hiya.
Angela Hollett says, I saw on a Clydesdale breeders page that they have named one of their foals HM Phoenix. I didn't realise the intake group was called Clydesdale. That's weird.
That's a coincidence.
Yeah. So the new intake, the new HMB Pro intake, HM Barefoot Professional intake, is on July the 8th. And so far we've come to our limit, really, because we don't like to take any more than 10, and we're coming to our very limit right now. Celia's here. Hello, Celia. Toya says, shh. Yeah, I know. I know. Us women, we know. Tim cooks all the time. Pretend all I can do is, like, cheese on toast. Monica, and that's what my kids think. Monica's here. Hello, Monica. Sandra's here from Czech. Hello, Sandra. Good to see you, my darling. Cheers, but I'm on the wagon tonight. Fizzy water only. Oh, please. I don't want to rub off any bad habits. So you stay on the fizzy water. You do that, if that's what you think it is. Hello, Meta. Good to see you. Alicia's here. Yay, I made it. Becky's here. Oh, what am I talking about? Becky's here. Yes, ask for me between 3 a.m. and 12. I'll be there. Night off tonight. Yay. I bet it's... Becky, I've got a question. And this is a serious question. I've often wondered this. And you will be able to answer this, Becky. Now, if you're a frequent traveller, as we often are, we don't get so caught out like the other poor souls who end up taking far too many liquids. And I know it's changing in Stansted, isn't it? It's changing all around, where they're bringing in these fast track ones where you don't have to take any liquids out. But I've always wondered, in Limoges Airport, they've got like a cabinet, and they've got a cabinet full of all the things you're not allowed to take on. They've obviously taken off people, and they put it in a cabinet. What happens, seriously, at the end of your shift when people have gone through and they've not been able to take expensive perfumes, expensive creams, face creams? You know what I'm talking about. Not just bottles of water, other very expensive items. What happens to them, Becky? Do you divvy them out at the end of the shift and all clear off home?
I reckon it's a tombola.
It's got to be a divvy out tombola, isn't it? Lucky dip. Lucky dip. What have I got in there today? Oh, this is some Clarins face cream. Thank you very much. That's 150 mils. Couldn't take that on board, could you, passenger? That's mine. I'll bet that's what you do. Jane's here. Hello, Jane, with the beautiful avatar. Vivian's here. Hi, out at the barn. Been thinking about how I can make my quarter-acre paddock more... Tracy? Racy? Oh, tracky. Thank you. More tracky. Oh my God, liquids. They can mail and fly them or collect them. If not, they go in the bin. At Christmas, the crackers and gift sets go to charity. Really? You're not... Honestly, what do you feel like when you have to chuck something like in the bin? You must be like, nobody's looking. Nobody's looking. No, my boss isn't looking. Just shoved you that one into my bag. You're not telling me you don't do that. You're just saying you can't. You're just saying you don't do that online, just in case somebody's watching. Hi, Facebook user. Howdy from British Columbia, Canada. Canada. Howdy.
Hello.
Good to see you. Are we new people, Facebook user and Facebook user? Are these two Facebook users new people?
Let me have a look.
FUs. Pia's here. Hi. From rainy Finland. Hello, Pia. Good to see you. Tula's from Finland, isn't she? Tula and Pia. I think she's Finnish. I'm sure Tula's Finnish. Alison's here. Hi, from near Market Harborough. Hello, Market Harborough, UK. Good to see you, Alison. Gutted when I throw a skanky toothpaste in the bin. I bet you're gutted when it's very expensive. You don't throw it in the bin. I don't believe you. I'll be talking to you about that on the training camp. I want to know all the gen. Hi, says Facebook user. Another Facebook user. Three or four Facebook users, Gary. Nope, I don't know why it says Facebook
got a couple
user.
of newies. So one of the ladies from Canada was. The thing is, on Facebook, every time somebody adds something, it rolls everybody back up, and I've got to scroll down on Facebook.
So you have to.
Anita Pepper said howdy from British Columbia, and I don't recognise that name. So welcome, Anita. The lady before that, it might not even be a lady, it might be a man. Kieran Davis. I think we've seen that name before.
Is this Kieran here right now? Because there's definitely a man going.
Oh yes, I see. Yes, no, yeah, that is Kieran. Yes,
Kieran. Welcome. Welcome.
Go the other one we've got Anne Blake. Now I recognise the name Anne Blake because I'm sure she put up a post today.
Okay.
Or recently. But
right.
I don't remember seeing her on a live.
No, I don't. So Kieran, Anne. You said somebody else. Go up into the post and there's a link in there. Click it. Accept the permission so that you can show your avatar on the, and then refresh, and then you'll come up. Well, you should come up. I can't guarantee. It does it sometimes and it doesn't. Yeah, keep up, Gary. Keep up, Gary.
I'm sorry, Alison. I promise I'll buck up, but I've had a couple of pints.
I think one has to register with StreamYard. Well, it's allowing. Facebook asks you if you will allow StreamYard, yes, to show it. Female. Oh, female.
Sorry. That's Kieran.
Sorry.
Mrs. Kieran.
Mrs. Kieran. I'm sorry, Mrs. Kieran. Anne, you've got the Suffolk Punch. I tell you what, Anne.
That's how I remember.
Your lovely Suffolk Punch has been a topic of conversation today, on and off. He really has. He's a beautiful, beautiful horse. I want to show you something that you'll love. This. Let me show you. Well, I hope you'll love it.
Oh, I think I've got one of those pictures too.
Here we go.
See if I can find it as well.
I'm going to show you this one. You'll like this. I'm 5 foot. I'm only tiny. I'm 5'3".
Nothing.
I am 5. Well, I'd like to think I'm 5'3.5". Actually, truth be known, my mother seems to be shrinking. She was always a little bit taller than me, but she seems to be shrinking now. And this is me with the tallest horse that I had on my books for years. And he is a Suffolk Punch. He's a full Suffolk Punch, but he grew very tall. And he is called Thor. And that was me standing by him. And and what I used to do, whenever I used to take, when I had new trimmers I was training, their test was Thor. I used to say to them, if you can get round Thor, you've passed the test, because Thor had feet like dinner plates. Dear Thor. Still with us. Thor's still with us. And I've got copious numbers of photographs of my children stood with him. This is him with his face. You get to see his face. Hold on a minute. So he didn't look like your average Suffolk Punch, and he was a full-bred Suffolk Punch, but he was taller than the average. He was nearly 19 hands, and they're not really that tall. So there he is. That's Thor. There's the boy. That was in the early days when he was in a grassy paddock, and he lived with a Clydesdale. But as years went on, his owner built him this super duper track in this field, actually, and that track went around half of the field that you can see here. And he's still on that track as far as I know. But he is. I know Thor. Who's that? Who's that? Who knows Thor?
Anne Blake with the Suffolk
Do you know
Punch.
Thor? Do you know him?
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, there you go. It's a small old world, but then there aren't that many Suffolk Punches, are there? So it is a small old world.
That's true.
Sweet. I had an Irish draft. He weighed nearly a ton, and he was over 18 hands. Yeah. So in fact, the young Clydesdale got bigger than Thor, but I only trimmed him a few times, and then he ended up moving on. But and then I had a couple of big, huge Shires, but Thor pipped it. He was more 19 hands, really. He was massive. Don't despair, Anne. The future is so much brighter now that you are here. You are here. I'm going to do a video for you, Anne, and he is a stunning boy. He is. Has everyone's video got stuck? No. Stunner. He is stunner. He's gorgeous. He's beautiful. Lovely to be between two beautiful places. The lovely Suffolk Punch. Oh my goodness, yes. For those struggling to get StreamYard to display your name despite giving permission, try finding apps in your Facebook settings and remove it. It seemed to have worked for me.
Well done, Kate.
He's breaking your heart. I know he is. And he's only 9, isn't he? I will say this live on TV. You've been terribly let down, Anne. No, not Anne. Yes, Anne.
Yes,
Anne Blake.
yes.
You've been a bit let down, I'm afraid. And that's the whole purpose of this Phoenix group, is for people like yourself to find out more and more. Can you hear them lot back there talking?
Faintly.
More and more about horse and hoof care. We can help you. We can, and potentially. I can't. Bethan and I have been talking a lot about you today. Bethan has got a list. She's got a list of horses that she's triaging and going through, and it is just, that's the way it is, I'm afraid. But don't despair, because even if you can't go to Bethan, we can help you. We can help you. But it starts with you learning all about a species-specific diet and management. And I know that sounds a little bit crass if you've not come into, if that's new to you. And also about barefoot hoof care, about the right hoof care for him, natural hoof care, where we take the shoes off and he has the foot that is balanced for him, the foot that he needs, because the hoof care that he's been having over these years, and you've been trusting those pros, unfortunately has led to him having quite a few issues in his hooves. But we're going to help you. I can't promise that he's going to be 100% sound forever. We don't know that. That's a bit in the lap of the gods. All we can do is strip it out, get his feet right, and then we go from there. And then that gives him the best chance ever. But you're in the right place, my darling. You're in the right place. Hello, fellow CDN. I'm living between Comox, BC, and Strap. Oh, yes. Okay. Right. Good. Now, I'm trying to learn. Okay. One of the great places to start is the 15-day and 10-day challenge. But I appreciate right now you've probably spent quite a lot of money having tests, haven't you, etc. So that's something for you to think about in the future. But we will help you. We will help you. Don't give up. Whatever you do, don't give up. Okay. Right now then, what are we going to talk about this evening, chumps? Ladles and jelly spoons. What are we going to talk about this evening, my ladles and jelly spoons? You lead.
I have a post-it now. Where did I put it?
You lead. You lead.
I got a post-it that was handed me the other day. Mediolateral balance, consequences of maintaining it or not maintaining it.
Consequences of not maintaining the meat. Well, I'll ask you, right? Oh, here we go. Just on the whole Suffolk Punch thing. This is Asha, and this was in 2017. Here's Ash with Thor. Look how small she looks. There's Eddie. Gary, look at Eddie in the background there.
Oh, hold on. I was searching for something else. Let me come back. Oh, yeah.
Hello, Eddie.
Oh, I learned loads from Eddie.
You did. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
He was one of my learning highlights, bless him.
Let me see if I've got one of Georgia, because she's with him as well at some point. Oh, yeah, here's Georgia. Right, that's it now. That's the family. Me, Georgia, and Asha at different times with Thor. Everybody had to have a picture with Thor. Look at him. Thor's like, yawn, yawn. What another picture? Yes, I'm rather big. I know I'm big. Although Georgia looks quite tall there against him. But yes, what a darling. There we go. So we're used to Suffolk punches. Big ones. Right. So mediolateral imbalances. Is that the question?
Yes. And what are the consequences if it's not maintained?
Oh, sorry. Let's just try and remove that. I beg your pardon. All right. Well, I'll ask you. What is mediolateral imbalance? Becky says compacted cells. Everyone seems to struggle with that one on the page. I know. And as a hoof care professional, if we had to rank problems in the top 5 of problems that we have to deal with, which are tricky, caudal hoof failure and compacted soles, which is the absolute reverse. So you've got caudal hoof failure, which is quite weak, which in actual fact, Anne Blake's horse, her Suffolk Punch, has a little bit of that. And compacted soles, which is the opposite. Those are the two things which are, for hoof care professionals, the ones that are the trickier ones of all. Why? Well, because I'd rather have compacted feet, I have to say, rather than caudal hoof failure. But compacted means that it takes a bit of judgment, a bit of experience to know where you're going. Because you have to get down a certain amount before the foot will start releasing that compacted sole, because it's not meant to be there. It's not natural for the horse to have it there. It's just compacted it because it's not been trimmed. So that's problematic. And it's a lot about heel. It's a lot about balance. It's a lot about reading the coronary band. It's a lot about reading the angles of the foot. It's a lot about understanding that. They're the top 2. When it comes to, you'd think, wouldn't you, that rotation, which is the one thing, horses live with caudal hoof failure and compacted hooves, compacted heels, although a lot of those compacted ones will have a modicum of rotation. They don't seem to be put down as often as the poor horses that have rotation, and yet rotation if we have not got a significant amount of osteonecrosis, is actually one of the easiest things to fix. Usually, rotation without compaction, and you can have penetration, and still it's relatively simple to fix. It's not. It takes a good 5 or 6 weeks before they're starting to feel sounder again. But once you get the hoof care corrected, and you can correct it quite quickly, as long as you're going every sort of 3 to 4 weeks, then yeah, you know, that it's not that much of a thing. Although it's the one thing that horses are put down for more than anything else. Mediolateral balance, one heel left higher than the other, would lead to side bone. So in the horse's hoof, should we ask Dr. Google and go and have a look at pictures? We like doing that, don't we? We like going and looking at Dr. Google. Yeah, let's just do this. We've got a ton of x-rays that we can use, but I tell you what, let's have a look at Dr. Google. Let's see what Dr. Google is, because I want to explain a few things as well. So I just put a little. Can you see all of this, Gary? Can you see it?
Oh, hold on.
So typically,
yes, we can see all that.
Right. So typically, when we're looking at mediolateral imbalance, when we're looking on an X-ray, we are looking for, first and foremost, you look at the ground, and then you look at P3, and you look at the angle of P3 to the ground, and you'll often find that the hoof is not in the right alignment. Now, the foot, the pedal bone and the ground and everything can be in the right alignment, but everything else above it isn't. And one of the things that you look for particularly is let's go back. Don't want you. Go back. Is that you're looking for the gaps here. So this is the pastern joint. This is between P1 and P2, and you're looking at these gaps here, and then you're looking at the distal interphalangeal joint and the coffin joint, and you're looking at the gaps there. If this horse has been in a unbalanced way for quite some time, and they have had those narrowings, then that causes problems. It squeezes the cartilage, it causes issues, and before you know it, you're having a horse that's suffering from arthritis. But here's an example of, it's gone now. I have to go back. I don't want you. Here, hello. There's various examples. So this one here, it's gone. I can't. Why is it? Oh, I see. This one here, you see, and then they put it in a shoe, and that they're doing is they're trying to straighten it up. The problem is it's what it looks like from the outside. It's not necessarily what the balance is going to be on the inside. You can have a foot that looks truly well balanced from the outside as far as the farrier is concerned, but on the inside, it won't be straight. And the only way that you can find something that is straight is by looking at the hard sole plane. Now, this foot is wrying slightly. What do we mean by that? Well, this is on its way to being flared, and this is, so it's leaning in, and this that way, and this one is almost like a parallelogram, isn't it? It's leaning in that way too. But these heels will not be down to the hard sole plane, almost guaranteed. So you can fix a lot of mediolateral imbalances you can fix all the mediolateral imbalances for that horse by trimming down to the true hard sole plane. But when you're starting to trim a horse that has never been trimmed to the hard sole plane before, it is going to take a few trims and a lot of movement before that horse finds its true foot. But there's a lot of other things that come into play. So you know us, we are not too keen, are we, at, let's just see if we have removed toe hoof. Let's just see if, it's got all sorts of things going on here. When you end up going down, let's find one. When you end up going down this route, right? And you remove, I mean, that's pretty shocking, isn't it? Here's one. Oh God. And you remove all of the dorsal wall. This is probably because The resection, incidentally, can happen either because of white line disease or because they think it helps laminitis. Either one, you're just chasing pathology. It's not going to help. You can't balance now. So this is the big problem with mediolateral imbalances. If you remove toe wall, there's some hideous things going on here. It goes like a horror show, isn't it? If you remove toe wall, yeah, folks, it's happening. You have no balance point. So therefore, it's in the lap of the gods who and what you're balancing to. Consequently, the boat, if we know that rotation happens because they are leaving heels high and removing toes and removing toe material, it is exactly the same when it comes to balancing from side to side. If you do not leave the toe pillar in play, here's one. If you don't leave the toe pillar in play, right, you have no balance point. You are guessing from that point forward. And then when you place a shoe on it, so let's say you've removed quite a bit of the toe, or you're leaving those quarters in play, and then you place a shoe on, all the time you're potentially causing imbalances within the foot. You know, you look at things like this, and a horse has got no natural balance points, none at all. No natural balance points. See here that most of it's been removed. And then what you have left is guesswork. So it's problematic. But that, yes, is me. I'm trying to find some more x-rays, medio. X-ray. Oh, no, not C. Oh, I did it anyway. So what you'll often find in horses that have a marked mediolateral imbalance is you'll start to find that they will start to ossify their lateral cartilages. You can see that bulge there. That's because this lateral cartilage has started to ossify. Now, if they you can see the shape of the lateral cartilage is doing that. But because this horse is continually put into this mediolateral imbalance, and this is because this horse will not be trimmed to the hard sole plane, it's guesswork. It's your guesswork. You're not following what the horse is telling you to do. It happens all the time, and this is why we have problems like this. Here's another one, and they will look at it and they'll be like, okay, so this is now straight, but it isn't quite, is it? Something's going off up there, and you can see that this point is narrower here. It's narrower than there. If you get used to seeing them eventually, but you can see that that point is narrower. So this is not straight, even though they're thinking that's straight, it isn't. And why? Because they've got a shoe on here. They can't possibly balance to this horse's natural parameters. Like I told you, there are no standards in hoof care at all. Look at this horse. It's been imbalanced for years. You can see gradually as it's been ossifying those lateral cartilages, turning it into side bone. Can you see it starts to do funny things at certain times? It changes direction, and they can fracture these as well. And they'll do, I have a horse, I'm pretty sure I've shown you this. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. We use this as a teaching example. Okay. Oh, I've driven all. Oh God, I've written all over it. Okay, I think I've shown you this before. Now, initially, when you look at this, you might think, "Oh, that's not so bad." Here you go. You might think, well, "Yeah, that's not so bad." But let's just look at it a little bit more critically, shall we? Well, we can see that we've got some imbalances going on here. We've actually got narrowing on this side. As we move down, we've got side bone being created, and that's the rest of the cartilage. You can just see that faint, slightly picking up that radio opaque slightly. You can see P3 isn't straight. You can see the gaps are narrower. on here, but if you look at the shoe, look at the shoe, look from here to here and from here to here. Do you see a difference? Do you see a difference? Can you see the difference? So this horse was having one side of his shoe flattened out. They were chasing the side bone. Every time they x-rayed, they could see more side bone. They would flatten out another side of the foot. Chasing the problem. Instead of the absolute easiest thing to do would be to remove the shoe and balance it to the horse's natural parameters. You cannot go wrong if you do that. Let me see if I can find another picture for you that might show this a bit better. Oh yeah, here's another one. This is the other side of this horse's foot. I've showed you this before. Hold on. Okay, so this is his other side. This is his right fore. You can see how dramatic his side bone is here now. It gets to a certain point, turns the corner, and you get this funny, sometimes it fractures in this point here. That's quite a common sight, but it doesn't just go up like that. It goes up and back. Again, you can see here, see this narrowing on this side, narrowing here. The other side has already started. The right side of the shoe has been hammered flat. Can you see now? This is different here and here. And this isn't even the same as the other foot because it's human error. You are not able to be that accurate. So he's hammering it flat on one side. He picks up the other shoe to do the same. He's not going to be that accurate. He's not going to have them precision. And it needs to be precision with a horse. Just slightly out and you're going to have problems. And this wasn't even slightly out. This was massively out. And this horse was on 2-3 bute a day. Really quite a shocking state. This was his foot. That was the foot I've just shown you, that x-ray. This is his foot. This is his pedal bone. There you go. So now you can see the side bone. This is already started on this side, but this is well developed. And you know something, this is largely ignored. They see it so much. They see it so often. It's an incidental finding usually on an x-ray. They're looking for something else and they happen to see the side bone. They're so used to seeing it that they just kind of just go, okay, well, c'est la vie. But what else can you see here going around the distal edge of P3? Now, this pedal bone won't sit properly. It's slightly wobbly. And he has been losing. You can see it's very porous, started to get porous here. It's being reabsorbed. This is osteonecrosis. Do you see this bit sticking out here? A little bit sticking out here. And it's basically losing it. Once upon a time, these holes here were intact, but not anymore. As this horse suffered from laminitis, rotation, osteonecrosis, ring bone, fused splints, side bone. He had it all going on. Incorrect diet, incorrect management. And we couldn't save him. We couldn't save him. But I knew his history, so I was luckily, well, I say luckily, I was able to take his front feet. But, you know, he died and he didn't die in vain. He comes around. He will be coming around the world with us. Now, these lateral cartilages are incredibly important. They're important for, you see how massive it is. And that is bone. It's never going to go back to cartilage. Cartilage is cartilage for a reason. It's tough, but it's flexible. Both sides of the feet allows the foot to be flexible. But as we know now, and when we talked about Dolly the other day, the more you make the foot smaller on a big animal, you magnify the wobble. And what the side bone is trying to do is stabilize the foot, as is ring bone, arthritis of the coffin bone, arthritis of the pastern joint, high-low ring bone. They're trying to stabilize the joint. Now, these here rub up, they've got their own lamina, they rub up against blood vessels and they move, and the whole hoof mechanism helps that blood pumping. When the horses fetlock and pastern, P1 and P2 come back and they push down on the navicular bone and they're pushing down into the digital cushion, the lateral cartilages at the back of the foot should open up slightly as that descends. You can't do that when you have side bone. And you look here at the back here, his palmar processes, can you see that these have also started to degenerate? So the whole of P3 begins to degenerate. Meanwhile, this is creating bone, this is losing bone. All down to incorrect hoof care. That's all it is. Incorrect hoof care. Just horrific. Horrendous pictures. I know. I was amazed when giving the hooves 5 weeks after trimming. Sole wasn't rock hard anymore. I'd love to learn more about compacted sole. Yeah. I'd love to learn more about foal trimming. Well, that's an interesting thing in itself. Medial lateral plus one heel. Well, foal trimming. So foal feet grow really quickly until they get to the age where the horse isn't changing so fast. When a foal is growing quickly in that first year, their feet have to accommodate the size of the animal that's growing above it. So they grow a lot faster than an adult hoof. An adult hoof will grow about 1 centimeter a month, and a foal can grow up to 3 times faster than that. It will grow quickly, and they go from quite a straight shape, and then gradually they start to sort of grow like this. They look like an inverted cone, actually. And then that's until eventually the foal cap, if you like, that foal, well, it's not the foal cap, but the foal, the last little bit eventually grows out, and then the foot starts to look normal again. And oftentimes when they're growing down, you have a big red rim, but you don't treat them any differently. If that foal is moving around with its dam, and it's moving around frequently with its dam, and hopefully you're making friends with it, you're handling it, etc., you just trim it the same, or at least you pick the feet up and get the foal used to the feet being picked up, and you're touching the feet with your razor. You might not be doing anything, but if you do have to do something, you do it. So a little bit of bar removal, maybe making sure the balance is okay. 9 times out of 10, the balance is fine if you leave them to be moving around. The tricky thing is when you have foals that are kept in stables for great periods of time. It's not the right thing to do. Struggling through letting the hoof wall grow down and lowering the heels, looking NPA now. So what are you thinking? That's NPA because it looks like that from the top? If you're bringing the heels down, I think maybe people get a little bit confused because we talk about the heels a lot, right? Which is incredibly important, obviously, to get the heels down to the hard sole plane. But you've got to get it balanced right. If you are bringing the heels down to the hard sole plane, and you have the toe here, and the toe is above that plane, as you're looking down at the balance, you'll get an NPA, or you'll get close to it. That has to be balanced along the volar plane. But if you haven't got toe wall in place, you've got
nothing to balance to.
That's where things go wrong. So all of these people all over the world, they're going, you've got to take the toe back. You've got to take the toe back. They've lost their balance point. And I don't care what anybody says. You've lost it. It is now totally down to you and your personal preference trimming, what you judge to be balance. And even with the toe wall in place, it's often not balanced correctly too. It's a shocking state out there. When you see what happens to some people by some professionals, it's hard to believe the unbelievable mess and how they decided to do it. Lost. Weren't never trained properly in the first place. They then went out into the big wide world and made it up because they see lots of problems. I mean, I can't say I blame them, but the problem is it is blame because you need to learn. If I can learn it, Gary can learn it. We can all learn it. And what do we learn it from? The natural foot. Come the day when we don't see an x-ray and a vet doesn't say, take the toe off.
You've also got to think about how long humans have been on the planet, what, 200,000 years, and what 6,000-7,000 years horses have been used for transport and all of that. So in that time, have we got it right? Well, this group is clearly a representation of what's going on in the rest of the world. I think the answer to that is self-evident. No, we haven't. We've got to go back to nature. That can give us so much insight.
But you start trimming a horse to its natural constants.
Yeah.
And the foot begins to wake up. I know that sounds a bit trite, but it's true. It's true. Anne says, must be so painful. Do horses cry? They cry with their bodies. We've forgotten to observe.
It's too common.
We've forgotten to observe. We don't know what soundness is anymore. Honestly, people don't know what soundness is. They don't know what a sound horse is anymore. They think that, and I know many of you watching here will either have or have had horses and shoes, and you think your horse is sound because when the shoes come off, the horse looks really pottery. So when the shoes go on, you're like, yay. But what you've just done is you've just obliterated that horse's natural wear points, those natural pillars of support. You've turned passive and active wear patterns on their head because now you've made it active in the area where it should be passive. Another reason why we get side bone. But we're told that that's good, right? We can go out and ride now because the horse is sound. But what we're doing is it's a gradual, and some horses, they go faster than others, but it's a gradual decline in their hoof and leg and body health over time. All because we've lost sight of what the natural foot is. And and they are incredibly particular. How many times have you ever had to wear somebody else's shoes? How many times have you gone round to your mate's house and you want to go and see the horses or something, and you've not got any wellies because you've got your nice bright white spangly trainers on, and you're going your daps, and you're like, I really want to go see the horses, and they go, it's all right, borrow my wellies, and you put their wellies on and you're like, ugh, that feels weird. God, don't you walk weird, you weirdo. And you're walking along and their feet are like this and your feet are like that, and you're like, oh, it feels really weird. It's just a very slight change, but it's enough, because what does it do? It doesn't just change your feet, does it? It changes in your ankle, going up to your knee, going up to your hip, through your spine, shoulders, head, neck, all of it. Every single, and then you go out and you're lifting things, and all of this is all, it's the same for the horse. And then we put a rider on board. It's the same for the horse. It's worse for the horse. Just so much lack of knowledge and awareness out there amongst professionals, let alone owners. Yeah. And if the professionals knew more, the owners would know more, because from what I've witnessed over the years, owners want to know. You are keen. You want to know the right stuff. You don't sometimes know the right questions to ask. But once you start digging into it, you're like, oh my God, this is incredible. But if you just scratch the surface with 99% of people that are in horses, and they can be the biggest name in horses, and you start scratching the surface and they're like, oh, that's not my job, that's somebody else. I was at a conference not long ago, and this person does biomechanics of the horse, and we were asking her about her horse's feet, and she just went, oh, it's not I don't deal with that, you have to go and ask the farrier. And we were like, oh, how can you say you are a biomechanics expert and yet you completely disregard the foot? And the feet were terrible, and the horse had osteonecrosis, few splint bones, arthritis in the joints of the foot, arthritis in his spine, and various other places in the body. Gets my goat, it really does. How far up the leg does the imbalance affect the joints? My big boy who has compacted heels has clicky knees when I let his feet down after trimming. It affects everywhere, front to back. Well, it would do, wouldn't it? If you think about it, you'd be affected. Everything is affected. Everything. Where a horse had its toe removed and is now growing out a stretched white line with a slightly curled toe, therefore not currently on the ground, would you just ensure the foot is always balanced and HSP until the new collection meets the ground? Yeah. So you go to the HSP. You can't go wrong. And I mean, initially that horse is going to be, the sole is probably going to be all over the place. You can't go wrong if you start getting to the HSP. Balance the heels. Look forward. Make sure that the toe quarters, and sometimes you can go forward an inch and that's it. Boom, they go off the end of a cliff. There's no wall left. All you've got now is a bit of sole. The rest of the foot's been completely removed. So all you can do is balance those heels. Keep coming back, balancing the heels and waiting for that toe wall to try and make its way down. It's lost its guide. Thanks, says Meta. Yeah, you need to observe. But if you don't know what, if you let's say you've got a shod horse and you take the shoes off, right? And the horse is lamer, you're not quite sure that the horse is lame, or even bilaterally lame, you wouldn't even spot it. And the horse is lamer, but you put the shoes back on and the horse seems sounder, what are you going to do? As a person who doesn't know anatomy, as a person who's got a vet or a farrier telling you that's the right thing to do, what are you going to do? You're going to put the shoes back on, aren't you? And the problems keep going. We're going to have to leave in a minute because we've got to go on our call with Bonnie. You can blame Bonnie, everybody. I feel other therapeutic treatments are pointless on a shod, unsound horse. Of course, there is nothing therapeutic. It's been given, it's an oxymoron. It's been given the wrong word. Remedial, it's not remedial. It has been proven. There's no research out there that proves that remedial shoes, heart bar shoes, and all of those things help, because they don't help because they cause lots of problems themselves. They know that. Which is why they're now searching for different products. Those of you who stuck with us for a while and remember the live we did with the researchers are in a race, go look it up on YouTube, way back towards the beginning, where we talked about what they're doing now, because they know that the remedial stuff doesn't work. So now they're after doing things like locking compression plate technology. Let's screw into P3 to fix P3 in place to the dorsal wall. So backward. Thinking that laminitis is causing P3 to rotate when they've never even looked at the hoof capsule. Hey, Cindy. Hey, darling. It seems everyone is trying to fix the horse's conformation by causing chaos at the hoof. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. You're quite right. You're quite right. The professionals are teaching the owners, or just, I think they're confusing the owners is what they're actually doing. Nikki says it's scary. It absolutely is. No hoof, no horse is such an old saying. It is, but that's used glibly at said conference when we had one of the researchers up on the stage who put the most god-awful pictures of some terrible hooves up on her slideshow, and actually wittered on, said, you know, no hoof, no horse, and was looking at these images going, they're okay. That's the sort of impression she was giving. And we were going, what? You're right. There ain't no hoof there. No hoof, no horse. There ain't no, it's masking it. It's masking it. Yes. But it's causing more problems. 100% it is. We now are, and we're asking for more and more x-rays from people. And we have timelines with these x-rays. And we can see it happening. Everything that has been caused by incorrect hoof care. No. Lisa says, currently working with a horse with terribly neglected mediolateral imbalance, with terrible side bone and ring bone. At this point, she's keeping her balance the HMB, but there is so much down. That's all you can do. You stay true to the foot that she will model now for her. That's all you can do. We have not got magic grasps. I remember that live, terrifying the new things they're at. I know, right? And they're not stopping, Megan. What did I read the other day? $30 million. I think it's more than that. Just in the US alone, laminitis. And that's laminitis that's recognized. They reckon that 20% of horses have laminitis. Sorry, that's a lot more than that. Crikey, I really hope they don't start doing that T-bar plate like they attach to heart. They attach heart bars. Chasing pathology and making it worse along the way. All right, my lovelies, we got to go. We got to go speak to Bonnie Doyle. Crossing our fingers. No pressure, Bonnie. Might be a Clydesdale soon. See you in a minute. All right, my lovelies, we'll see. Are we on tomorrow night, Gary? You're not.
I won't be. I should be in a car traveling many miles back to the UK.
I might be. I might come on my own. We'll see how it goes. Probably. And on Saturday night, we're going to do a live for people who have not done the 15-day and 10-day challenge, who want to know more about it. So that's what we're going to do on Saturday night. Thank you, my darlings. Night. Thank you. Bye. Oh my God, the cat's just come galloping in. Bye. See you tomorrow.